Hello friends. So today we are going to see subject of building construction and materials. So out of that subject we are going to see today about the brick masonry. So what is brick masonry we are going to see in this presentation. Let's continue. So brick masonry. So what is actually mean by brick masonry? So the art of laying bricks in mortar in a proper systematic manner gives homogeneous mass which can withstand forces without disintegration called brick masonry. Okay, so here you can see this image. So it is a homogeneous mass with different bricks, and it is joined with the mortar. Okay, laying on the mortar, it is joined together with the mortar on alternate courses. So this is about the brick masonry. So this is called brick masonry. Now, the dimension and surfaces of brick. So every brick has some different dimensions. So already we have seen in the previous few presentations. So what are the sizes of bricks? So standard brick and conventional brick. So the sizes will be changing according to the location of the country. So it may be different in different locations. It may be different in different locations. So dimension and surfaces. So here this is the wall, constructed wall. Out of that one brick I have highlighted here. So in that you can see the numbers of they have given. So number one is the length. This is the length of the brick. Number two is the width of the brick. Number three is the height of the brick. Number four is the bed of the brick. So this top surface, top as well as the bottom surface are called as a bed, as well as both the surfaces are called as bed, top and bottom surface. Fifth number is the face. So here this is the face which is we can see in front of us. So this is the face of the brick, and sixth number is the header of the brick in opposite direction. So in this direction as well as in this direction it will be header. So this will be face, and it can also be called as a stretcher face. It can also be called as a stretcher face. Fifth number. This is face, or it can be also called as stretcher face. And sixth is header. This is about the dimension and surfaces. So in this we have to use the abbreviations for the or notations for the surfaces or dimensions. So if we are going to ask about the length, so length should be this one, height should be this one, and width should be this one. So size of bed, if you have asked the size of bed, you have to multiply this width into the length. That will be the area of the bed. That will be the area of the bed. If you are asked the stretcher or the face area of face, you have to multiply height by length. So 3 multiplied by 1. So this numbers. And if you are asked the area of header, you have to multiply height into width. Will be the header face. So this is about the dimension and surfaces. So we have to remember this. So same terminology. The surface of brick have names. Top and bottom surface are beds, as we have discussed in the previous slide. Top and bottom surfaces are beds. Ends are headers and header faces. So that one also we have seen sixth number here, header face. It can also called as an headers or header face, and sides are stretcher or stretcher face. Sides are stretcher or stretcher face. So here you can see this is the side. So this face is called as stretcher or stretcher face. That is fifth number. These are the terminology. So brick sizes. So already we have seen in the previous lectures about the sizes of bricks. So here a standard metric brick has coordinating dimension of 225 by 112.5 by 75 mm. That is 9 inch by 4.5 inch by 3 inches. So called nominal size, and working dimension, that is actual dimension of brick, is 215 by 102.5 by 65 mm, that is 8.5 inches by 4 inches by 2.5 inches, called architectural size. Now remember here, so in this slide what we are going to learn is, don't concentrate on the size dimensions, because dimension may vary according to this location. Dimension may vary according to the location. But what is actually mean by working dimension and coordinating dimension? So here you can see, so 215 mm is a working dimension. For the same side, what is the coordinating dimension? That is 225 mm is the coordinating dimension. Coordinating dimension means what? Coordinating dimension means what? Center to center distance between the two joints. Center to center distance between two joints is the coordinating dimension. Is the coordinating dimension. Similarly, here you can see the working dimension for the brick along the width is 102.5 mm and coordinating dimension is more than that, that is 112.5 mm. So it is again more. So similarly 65 mm is the working dimension and coordinating dimension is 75 mm. So here coordinating size or format brick plus joint and working size of the brick for manufacture. Working size is manufactured size of brick and coordinating dimension means what? Center to center between its joints. Center to, in next slide you can understand. So here in this image you can understand that. So this is a course of a brick wall. So here you can see the actual dimension of the brick is working size and center to center between two joints is known as coordinating size. So this is, for this purpose we need to see this slide. Okay, so you will come to know that what is meant by working size and what is meant by coordinating size. Okay, so we'll continue. Next, frog. So frog also we have seen in the previous presentation, that is the depression provided in the face of a brick during its manufacture, that is called as a frog. So depth of a frog in a brick is 10 to 20 mm. Okay, so it may vary according to the requirement. It may vary according to size. It is again changes depth of the frog. But according to standard dimensions, standard Indian standard, already we have seen in the previous presentation what is the standard depth and what is the standard size of frog. Okay, frog should be upward. Okay, the frog should be provided upward. Or when we are going to lay the brick, the frog should be laid upward. Okay, and the plane surface should be kept at the bottom. Now, what is course? Course is each horizontal layer of a brick laid in a mortar in any brickwork is called course. Means what? So when we are going to construct a wall, we are going to lay the bricks. So the line in which we are going to lay the bricks, that line is called as a course, or that brick line in between two joints, the line which is joining is called as a course. So that is each horizontal layer. Instead of saying it lines, we can say it is layer of bricks laid in mortar in any brickwork is called course. Okay, so now what is bats? The portions made by cutting standard bricks across their width are known as brick bats. Means what? When we are going to cut the brick across their width, it is called as bats. These are named according to the fraction of full length of a standard brick. So in next image will come to understand that. So what is closure? So bat, when we are going to cut the brick along the width is bat. And what is closure? The portion made by cutting across their length in such a manner that their one stretcher face remains uncut or half cut is called as closure. Means what? Simply you have to remember that when you are going to cut the brick along the width, it is called as bat, and when you are going to cut the brick along the length, it is called as closure. Okay, so here you can see. So number one is A is full brick. So this is a standard full brick. So see here, queen closure. So this second B image represents that queen closure, half. So it is cut along the length. After cutting, the remaining brick is called as queen closure. Here, the 1/4 portion, that is queen closure quarter. So this is queen closure half. This is queen closure quarter. So quarter portion, 1/4 portion of the brick. When you are going to use this brick in the construction of wall, it is called as queen closure quarter. Now again we are going to cut the brick along the length. So center of the length and center of the width. According to the 2 points, we are going to cut the brick. So Here this is called as a queen king closure. This is called as a king closure. Next one is center of the width and at the corner of the opposite edge. When we are going to cut and use that brick into the masonry construction, it is called as an V-weld closure. V-weld closure. Okay. Now mitred closure. Mitred closure means what? When we are going to cut the brick from the corner at an angle of 45 to 60 degree, that remaining brick is called as a mitred closure. Mitred closure. Okay. So now here we are going to cut the brick along the width. So half brick. So half brick is called as an half bat. Half bat. Here 3/4 bat. So we have cut a 1/3 portion of the brick and remaining brick is called as an 3/4 bat. Here again B-weld bat. So we have cut that portion of from the half of the one side and 1/3 from the other side. So cutting that portion, the remaining brick is called as an B-weld bat. B-weld bat. So this is the bats and closures are used in the constructions of brick to joint the corners, to join the different corners of the walls, to join the different corners of the wall. So remember this is very important. So what is the use of this bats and closure? So actually what is the use? So this is used to join the corner or to anchor the corner or to anchor the corner of the two different walls. So this is about bats and closures. So same images. This is continually I have actually same. This is the same image. Next is types of brick by shape. So first is solid brick. That is solid brick shall not have holes, cavities or any depression. So this is a rectangular, solid rectangular block. So that is called as a solid brick. Second is perforated bricks. So perforated bricks shall have holes not exceeding the 25% of the gross volume of the brick and minimum 30% solid across all the width of brick. Means what? Some holes are provided. Some holes are provided into the bricks in different shapes, and sizes. That those bricks are called as perforated bricks, and it should not exceed, the hole should not exceed the 25% of total gross volume of the brick. Okay, these are called as perforated bricks. So third one is frogged bricks. Frogged bricks shall have depressions in one or more bed faces, but their total volume shall not exceed 20% of gross volume of a brick. Okay, so depression is provided on the surface, on the top surface of the brick. Depression is provided in different shapes. This is a rectangular shape. This is a triangular shape. This is again a hexagonal shape. Is provided. Depression is provided. So it should not exceed 20% of the gross volume of the brick. So minimum 20% of the depression should be provided according to the gross volume of the brick. So those bricks are called as frogged bricks. Now, so we have seen the types of bricks. The three types of bricks we have seen according to the shape. Now we are going to discuss about bonds in bricks. The arrangement of bricks in brickwork so that the vertical joints do not come over each other. So remember, my dear friends, is in the brick masonry construction, this is a very important point. That the arrangement of the brick in brickwork so that the vertical joints do not come over each other. In any bond, in any type of bond, nowhere the vertical joints comes below each other. So it should be alternately. It should not join. In two courses. So this is very important point we have to remember. Next is bonds in bricks. Bonds in brickwork is provided to achieve a united mass as soon as practicable to suit the length, height and thickness, the brickwork and stresses to which it is subjected. Okay, so bonds are to be provided to achieve the united mass, means a homogeneous structure, we can say homogeneous structure. So it should be practicable to suit the length, height and the thickness of the brickwork. It should be according to the bonds are finalized. Bonds means we can say types of brick masonry. So next is the break. To break the continuity of vertical joints and to provide proper bonds in brick masonry portion of bricks, closures and bats are provided and alternative courses. Closures and bats are provided in alternative courses. So this is very important to avoid the vertical straight joints and or to join the corner of the two bricks. We need to use closures and bats. Already we have seen in the previous slides. Now, different types of bonds in the brick. Different types of bonds in the brick. So the following are the principal forms of bonding. So first is header bond, second is stretcher bond, third one is English bond, fourth one is Flemish bond, fifth one is rat trap bond, sixth one is garden wall bond. And again different types of bonds are there. We'll see these six types of bonds, what actually the types are there, and we'll see what is the meaning of this header bond, stretcher bond, English bond, Flemish bond, rat trap bond, and garden wall bond. By seeing the image, you will come to understand. So this is an also arrangement of brick. So how the bricks are to be arranged? How the bricks are to be arranged? So header bond. So here you can see in the face of the wall, we are going to see only the header bond, only the header bond. So header bond in each course we are going to see the header face. That's why this is called as a header bond. So heading or header bond is laid on headers used of round quick sweeps are there. So in we will come next we'll see should never be used in straight work as it is very weak So when we are going to construct a straight wall in that header bond is not convenient or not feasible, we should avoid using header bond. So okay, we should avoid some different bonds for straight wall. So let's see where it is to be used. So it is to be used in curved wall. In curved wall, this is good. It will use the good strength. It will use a good strength here. Okay. So in header bond, so here you can see all the bricks are laid in the face is header face. At the corner, the 3/4 brick pat is used to avoid the joint, or to make a proper joint, So alternate course. Here you can see the 3/4 pat are arranged in this way, and here you can see the 3/4 bats are arranged in longer in this direction. So this is the second layer and this is the first layer. Means first course and second course. So this is in first course we have to arrange the 3/4 bat in this direction, and in other course we have to arrange in the opposite direction. We have to arrange in opposite direction so that you can avoid the separation of the wall. You can avoid the separation of the wall and you can make a proper bonding. You can make a proper bonding by using 3/4 bats. Stretcher bond. So bricks are laid in stretcher as in the figure you can see below. So in the face we are going to see the stretcher face. So that wall is called, or that bond is called as a stretcher bond. So only used for walls of half brick thickness partition walls. Generally you can see the stretcher bonds are used for partition walls. Stretcher bonds are used for partition work. This is only practical bond which can be used on a wall of this thickness to break the vertical continuity. Half brick bat is provided in alternating course. So in the plan you will understand. So at the end of the wall, half brick bat is to be used. So here you can see this is the full brick and this is the half brick to avoid the or to maintain the end of the brick, to maintain the end of the wall. So alternately we have to use the half brick bat at the end of the bricks. So this is about the stretcher bond. So next is English bond. So the face, so we'll see the image first, then you will come to understand what is actually is in English bond. So English bond is nothing but one course is provided of stretcher bond, another course is provided of header bond. Again alternate third course is provided of stretcher bond, fourth one is again header bond. So alternate courses are there. One course of stretcher and another course of header bond. So in this way the English bond is provided, and the facing brick are laid in the alternate course of header and stretcher. Queen closure inserted next to queen headers to produce the overlap. So here you can see queen closure is there. Here you can see queen closure is inserted to avoid the continuity, to avoid the continuity. To break the continuity of the wall, we have used the queen closure here to make the anchorage, or to break the vertical joints, we are used the queen closure here. The course of a header, and the alternative course of a stretcher. So this is the course of a stretcher. This is the course of a header. You can see here. So this is about the English bond. So now Flemish bond. We'll see the image first. Okay. In Flemish bond, what actually is done is, in a same course, one brick is of header face and another brick is of stretcher face. One brick is of header face, another brick is of stretcher face. Header face, stretcher face. Header face and again a stretcher face. Means what? What we have learned in English bond. In English bond, a course was a same bond, same face. The stretcher face was there in a single course. Another course was of header face. But here, the same course is having a alternate bond, alternate face. Header stretcher in same course. So not such as strong as an English bond. This is not such as strong as an English bond. So decorative pattern of on face of a wall shows alternate header and stretcher in each, with the header centered under an over stretcher in adjacent courses. Means here you can see the header is there, and here you can see the stretcher is there. Again here stretcher is there. With up two bricks, a header is inserted. Again a stretcher course is there. Again a header brick is there. Header facing brick is there. So this is a pattern picked out in the headers. So here you can pick the pattern. So you can use the different types of bricks, and you can decorative purpose. You can use this decorative purpose. So 3/4 closure is used at the end of the brick, end of the wall. 3/4 closure is used for the end of the wall. So this is about Flemish bond. Next is rat trap bond. So why it is called as a rat trap? Because you can see here, this is the arrangement. So bricks are laid vertically, and in between the two bricks, a hollow portion is there. A hollow portion is there. So it will see. It seems to looks like a rat. It is like looks like a trap which is provided for the rat. Okay, that's why it is called as a rat trap bond. And generally this is used for the insulation purpose. Insulation purpose means what? So if heat is there in the outside atmosphere, it will not transfer the 100% heat to the internal of the room. So it will avoid, due to the void between the two bricks, it will avoid the uh, it is useful for the insulation. So it is made by placing the bricks on their sides having a cavity of 4 inch, that is 100 mm, and alternate course of stretcher and headers are there. So when this is header, this is stretcher, header, stretcher, header, stretcher. So alternate courses are there. So it is still used in India as an economical bond. So number of bricks required for the same thickness, that is, suppose we are going to construct a thickness of wall 230 mm. So for this, using this bond, we will require less number of bricks due to the void which is there. Okay. So this volume is reduced. Okay. So here this is it is also used as an economical bond. So next is the advantage of rat trap bond. So what is the advantage? We'll see, just read out this point. It is highly economical because can make a wall of a 1 brick thickness with fewer bricks than a solid bond. So instead of solid, we have provided some voids into the brick masonry. Strength is equal to the standard 10-inch, that is 250 mm brick wall, but consumes 20 to 30% less bricks. So strength is same, but consumes 20 to 30% less bricks. Again, this is very advantage point. Cost saving on material is 30 to 50% as compared to the traditional 10-inch brick wall. Okay, so 30 to 50% cost consumption is there. Maintains thermal comfort inside the building due to air medium. Because the air medium is there between the two bricks in the rat trap bond, the thermal comfort is there inside the building. Bricks aligned on both sides, plastering not required. Because we can provide to the inner side, so that it will seem as a flat surface. It will seem the front side will be seems as a flat surface. Next is, it is quite strong as building constructed about 40 years ago still does not show any signs of distress. Okay, it means strength of the brick is also good. Strength of the masonry wall is also good for the rat trap bond. These are the advantageous points. So this is a realistic image of rat trap bond. So last is garden wall bond. So use in for 9-inch thick wall. So here, what is there? So here you can see this image. So the first course is of header course, and 3 courses are of stretcher. Again, fifth one course is of header. Again, 3 courses of stretcher. So alternate courses are there. So one course of header, other 3 to 4 courses of stretcher phase. Again, one course of header. Again, 3 to 4 courses of stretcher phase. This is about the garden wall. This is about the garden wall. You, when a fair face is required on both the sides, wall is composed of 3 or 4 courses of stretchers alternating with one of headers. One of headers. So what is the conclusion just from this presentation? We have seen that the manner of overlapping brick for construction of wall is called brick bond. Many types of bonds are used in different ways for construction of brick walls or brick pillars. Good brick bonds can ensure the strength of building and aesthetic beauty of brick walls. Brick pillars and entire brickworks depends on the quality of bonds. Thus, bonds in brickwork is of utmost importance. This is the conclusion. I have just written a statement. You can also write your own conclusion. You can conclude your own for this presentation. So let's last one is, this is actually not a part of this presentation, but we'll see what is composite masonry. Composite means what? Two different materials using two different materials. So this is composite masonry. For example, ashlar facing. Ashlar facing. So here one side is constructed by using brick and other side is constructed by using stone. So this is, here these two different components or two different materials are used. That's why this is called as a composite masonry. Composite masonry. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much.